Hey there, we are live, and I am here today again for our Title Tuesday with Kathy Sloboda, your title girl. She's my title girl, but she can be yours too. But anyways, today we are going to be talking about title insurance and why do people have to have title insurance? Why does the seller have to pay title insurance? What the cost is of title insurance, and really what is it? So
Yeah.
Kathy, since she's my title girl, Kathy's gonna share with us about that really quickly.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have this video very long. So, what is title insurance, Kathy?
Well, it's super sexy.
Okay.
Title insurance, there's two different types. There is an owner's policy that your sellers provide to the buyer that says, I'm the rightful owner. There isn't anyone else that has ownership to this property. And there's no clouds on title. So clouds on title will then stop it from being marketable title. Those can range anywhere from contractor liens to IRS state tax liens, city liens on the property due to maybe upkeep type issues.
And clouds
There's
on title are basically just issues with the title that won't allow it
yeah,
to close.
right, and then we say it's not clean title. We say clouds on title, and then we say clean title, which means marketable title. The other type of insurance is a lender's policy that a buyer would purchase, and it keeps their lender in first lien position because there's what's called at a closing race to record, where somebody could put a lien on a property and it would take precedence. It would be in first lien position. And no bank or lender is going to allow that. They don't want that to happen. It's a homeowner's typically biggest purchase, and a lender could be lending a ton of money. So if that house were to go into foreclosure, they want to make sure they're getting all their money, and the title company then is the one that insures that.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
So
So with that, why does the seller have to pay the title insurance? Why isn't, I mean, because the buyer's buying the house, so why, logically when I first got in the business, like why I was like, why is the seller having to pay that? Or yeah,
right. Yeah.
buyer's buying the house, why can't the buyer pay it?
Well, it can be negotiated. I have seen the purchase agreements written that the buyer will pay for it, but the seller traditionally is the one that pays for it in our market. It's different in lots of different markets. It's a filed rate through the state. It's based on the purchase price. And to answer your question, I'm going to pose a question back to you. If you had one of your best friends, family member, client, because I know you treat them all the same, would you let somebody buy a house without title insurance?
Knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't allow them to purchase a house. I would give them the information, but no, I probably wouldn't let them purchase a house without having some sort of title insurance. It's just a protection, right? So,
And what have you seen? I know I personally know, and I keep hitting my mic. Sorry, I know you've hit a couple pretty big hurdles.
mhm.
So without, because I know we're going to keep this short, but with a short explanation, what have you seen happen? Because I think it's one of those things that it's a mystery that we haven't maybe in the industry done a good job on educating consumers on what it is.
Yep.
And so people necessarily don't know. And obviously, I know that's why we're talking about it today. But what has happened to your clients?
So I've had people ask me, "What is title insurance and why do I have to pay for it?" And I just
Mhm.
explained to them that what it does is it helps the buyer um, that's buying your home if anything were to happen with that chain of title. Yeah, the title company is supposed to be, do their job properly, and there shouldn't be any concern. But if by chance some paperwork didn't get found along the way or somebody screwed up, it protects that
Right.
buyer, um, that buyer's purchase basically,
Right.
um, for the future.
Yep.
And because of I had this situation with the quiet title, um, unfortunately, it was the title company's, problem back in the day. But in essence, um, they should have really gotten that situation straightened
Yeah,
out, and they
because
should have been able to pay for it
right.
themselves. But
Yep. So we're making sure that the person selling the property is the person that actually owns the property, that there isn't an Uncle Earl that had ownership to the property that bought it with the seller
hmm
40 years ago. So we're not just insuring the current seller that owns it right now. Title insurance is going back and looking at the history 40 years back on residential, actually, is how far we go back in the
hmm
search.
yep.
Commercial insurance is a 100-year search.
hmm
So it might not be an issue, or say the other term that we sometimes use is a defect on title. It could be something was done wrong to sellers before. And it could be because title insurance actually insures the legal description,
hmm
not the address. There are sometimes mistakes done with the legal description that the mortgage company has an issue with. So, to go back to your question on why does a seller need to do it? If there's a mortgage involved, a lender won't allow a transaction to happen. And because I do this day in and day out, I see the bad stuff on what can happen. I mean, unfortunately, there are people out there that aren't honest, like the 99.9% of us, and they forge deeds.
hmm
Somebody under the age of 18 can't sign a deed. That happens sometimes. People impersonate people. Um, so we're ensuring that as well.
So
Um,
so it like for instance, the situation that I had. So the legal description had added in the 38 feet, but then there was a chain there, like they don't know where it came from. So if a title company had screwed up, let's say 40 years ago or something like that, is that something that somebody
yeah.
could go
So,
back to if the
so
title
somebody,
company had screwed up?
yeah. So somebody could, what happens, just like with our homeowners insurance, we file a claim as consumers.
Mhm.
If something comes up, and it's typically big with title, I mean, a home is one of our biggest purchases for the vast majority of us consumers. Um, if a claim comes up, you would file a claim with the underwriter. And the good thing about title insurance is that it's no money out of your pocket. If the underwriter, Fidelity happens to be an underwriter. There's
Mhm.
about 8 large underwriters nationwide. And
Mhm.
then there's a lot of my title competitors that are title agencies that may write on 1 to 4 different underwriters' paper. So the underwriter is actually who the consumer would be filing a claim with. And then they're hiring the attorney. If they deem that it's a claim that there is has merit,
Mhm.
they're hiring the attorney. It's all money out of the insurance company's pocket to fight that claim. And then
Got
say it was an issue where when a seller goes to closing, they're signing a seller's affidavit. That affidavit, for any of your realtor friends that might be watching, any realtors that haven't sat down and read through a seller's affidavit of what their seller is going to be signing, they really should take 15 minutes, 20 minutes to really look that over. And if they have questions on it, to talk to their title person, because their seller is signing that there's no issues with boundaries. There's no one else that has claims to the property. They haven't done any work done to the property. There's
right.
no other liens on the property or loans, right?
Right.
So that's part of the thing is we would be closing out any home equity lines of credit, anything that could go against that property. We're clearing up any IRS liens, state tax liens. We're cleaning all of that up before something goes
Correct.
to close. But if
Correct.
somebody lies and they sign off and say that there was a lien that pops up
Mhm.
or something that comes up, we're
Yeah.
fighting that. We're fighting that and cleaning that up. And then if the title company needs to go perhaps take that previous seller to court to make themselves whole out of all the money it's potentially cost to fix the problem, then
Yeah.
they would do that.
Okay. Okay. So there would just basically, I mean, to summarize that, there would basically be an investigation,
Yep,
right,
yep,
into
yep.
what happened. Did somebody lie? Was there miscommunication, or did the title company do their job? Did
Correct,
the real estate agents do their job, so on and so
correct.
forth?
Yep,
Okay,
yep. And
and
so the
then
other thing that you had asked, or I think, was, did you ask me about cost yet?
no, I was just going to
Okay,
ask you about that.
okay.
You read my mind. So what is the cost
So,
for title insurance,
yep,
and
title
how is that
insurance
determined?
filed rate through the state. So, um, from Fidelity's to, First American to Stewart, Old Republic, those are large underwriters.
Mhm.
They all file rates through the state and they're very, very close neck and neck.
Okay.
So it goes based off the purchase price.
Oh,
So,
okay.
mhm.
And
And
so
so there's rate
they go from
sheets.
title company to title company. They could get a slight difference in rates for title insurance.
Very, very minute. They're very usually very close,
Okay.
but there'll be some minor changes, you know, not hundreds of dollars more. Yeah, not hundreds of dollars.
Okay. And just so everyone knows, so these are just like the 21 reasons for having title insurance.
Yep.
Um, I'm going to put this in the comments and the description so that way you can kind of look through it and get more familiar with it. Because, like I said, it's really good to be an educated consumer when you're going out and selling a house or buying a house, and understanding that title insurance is, I think, a small piece that you should really be educated about. So,
Yeah.
all
So
right.
Sheila had asked me a question, and I know we're going to keep this short, but she had said, I had asked her before we started recording, if she would advise people. And what was your response if you would advise a seller to close with insurance? You had said in some instances,
Right. I would say, "Oh, well, if my mom had the house built, like my mother-in-law, they had the house built and she owned it for the entire time. So
mhm,
why does she need to have the title? Uh,
right?
the
And it,
title insurance when we do that?" And your
yeah,
answer was,
the only one investment property I've ever done was a family to family transfer. Um, and the family had owned the property for like 60 plus years. And of course, the one that my family did as an investment in a flip had an issue. We had to hire an attorney and quiet the title. So, I mean, it happens, unfortunately. And I wish I could say that that didn't happen to our family, but it did. And so,
well, there you have it. So, I mean, get title insurance. You're going to need title insurance on houses that you sell. As a buyer, the seller will pay it, and you'll see that in your settlement documents at closing.
yeah.
So,
So the one quick
yeah.
thing to educate sellers on where there can be humongous differences in fees
Mhm.
is the closing fees. So Fidelity does not charge a closing fee.
Mm.
Closing fees can range and they can call them different things, Sheila. Closing fees can range anywhere from $150 to I've seen add up to $945.
Oh,
A deed prep fee, a doc review, an attorney review fee, a $10 tax fee, a notary fee, a courier fee. So those are things that whether it's your realtor friends looking at maybe their past deals to see,
yeah.
but that's something that consumers need to be aware of because
Yeah.
that can add up.
Yeah. And I would say that, if you're going to do some shopping, contact Kathy. Her phone number is right there on the screen.
Yep,
Reach out to her, ask her just for a cup. Kathy loves to have coffee.
I
Reach
do.
out to her and she'll meet you for a coffee and really kind of go over that stuff. So I really would implore you to give her a call. And honestly, even if you're not an agent, just call her and
Yeah,
she'll get you connected where you need to be. And
yeah.
she'll get you educated as well. So, all
And
right.
feel free to shoot a text, and because that sometimes is my quickest way during the week when I'm running appointments to get back to someone. So feel free to always shoot me a text as well.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Kathy.
you.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.